Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Because Leivy's not here, we're going to leave the siddur. You want to take it? Why? Welcome to all the guests. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Feldman?
Yeah.
Oh, got some shpuchas here. TC? Wow. What's your first name? Binyomin from TC. Wow. It's not easy yeshiva to get into. Probably the hardest one, no? It's a chashuv guy. We have chashuvim here. This is a picture of Rabbi Leader and Rabbi Glock, I think. Let's read the email. This is on a flight. You see this? On a plane. There we go. Thank you for coming to the U.S. I know it's a big tircha for you and your family. You should know that your presence is a big chizuk, even though you're here to fundraise. LOL. I came out to the live stream in Borough Park this past Thursday and have a few observations to share. Should I say, to share? Everyone was comfortable with one another. Everyone was greeting one another as if this is a cousin. The only difference was that no one was wondering if we were related from this side or that side. The question was asked, so when did you start learning the daf with Reb Eli? This might be the wrong email, but okay. I'm saying it, I don't know if it has to do with that picture. Your star is clear that managing the crowd is not easy. You handle it well. I was watching. Everyone was greeted. Yishkoyach. This shir was really does change lives. Whoever says otherwise is fooling themselves. Let's talk about the last point. There are a few ways that the shir has changed my life. My colleague Alimlech of Kiryas Yoel and I have been working together for nearly 10 years since we both started learning the Daf Yomi with the shir. This past Rosh Chodesh by Kiddushin. Most of our in-person conversations now include a reference to Daf Yomi and MDY. Everywhere I go, I meet people who are part of the MDY families. Recently, a few weeks ago, I was traveling with, it is the same one. A Yid came over to ask if we could daven mincha on the plane. Within 30 seconds, a Jewish geography came out that he's an MDY regular at the hub in Ramat Bet Shemesh. My friend was waving me over to meet the guy who also learns with MDY. The kids, sir, we bonded over how it's changed our lives in different ways. See the attached photo. He said, I'm the guy on the right side of the table at the live shir and tefillin every morning. Come on every morning. Where do you sit? Right over here. Rabbi Leader. What a pleasure to meet Reb Hershel Leader. When we finished Bava Kama, I saved the siyum and made it at my Purim Suda with my family and friends. Givaldik. It was amazing, especially after all the glasses of wine that preceded it. And impactful for my wife and children. I called my Rebbe in via video and he shept nachas too. Last story. I was leaving the live share in Borough Park last week. I went downstairs to get my coat and there's another Yid there doing the same. I asked him, when did you start learning the Daf of the Reb Eli? He said about a year ago. I continued, when did you start learning Daf Yomi? He said 42 years ago. First, my wife got me the taste from Reb Eli, Eli Teitelbaum. Then she got me this thing called an iPad, and I was able to get a Kitzer. Here's a Yid who's been learning the Daf for 42 years. He's still finding sipuk in Yeshir. His name is Meir Wickler, doctor, I believe. What an inspiring Yid. Anyway, I've gone past my time here. Thank you for staying with me. For me, it's day 232. Al Mirza Shem, stay with you as well. Here's the 42 more years, and then some. Shkoyach, Yecheskel Glock, Edison, New Jersey. Here's the picture again. Reb Leader and Reb Glock, I think, on the left, and the guy in the middle, I'm not sure. Rav Eli, Yossi, and the crew. Good luck at hatzlacha Rabba in your fundraising campaign here in the U.S. We couldn't get to the shir last Thursday, and my son Zaki is a fanatical about not missing a day of daf. It's not about the daf, it's about the yomi. He's a future in-law. He has a future in-law as he has become a master negotiator for more minutes of screen time to catch up. He has a future in-law. He has a future in-law because he's a master negotiator. Woo! Wow, I almost got myself in trouble there because he looks pretty young over there. Imagine a surprise when on the way home from soccer practice, as they tried to get to 6:45 mincha, my wife spotted a group of men crossing the street. She said, I have a feeling it's an important rabbi. As she passed, wave to you. She encouraged my really shy son, Zaki Davis, to take a picture of you, someone who also inspires him to do the daf. Thank you for interrupting your important call. My wife said it must have been your wife. Yeah, right. And taking a great picture. I sincerely with Akarata Tov, Carlos Varda, and Zaki Davis. And a few of the recent donors from today. Thank you for bringing the daf to life every day and making it addictive. Joel Merkin, $500 from Baltimore. This morning, is 7 hours ago, I guess. It says like this. This person donated, came out $4,000. $12,000 plus $2,000. First he put his name on 2,000, then he did anonymous on the 12,000 shekel. I don't know if that was on purpose. We'll pretend it wasn't. Rav Shach Zatzal praised Rav Noach Weinberg Zatzal, Kir of 1,000, saying, Ezu chacham halemim kaladam. In other words, what he's trying to say here is that you can learn even from the worst person in the world, even from Hitler Yimach Shemai. Therefore, what do we have to learn from Hitler Yimach Shemai? If one can destroy 6 million lives, one can save 6 million lives. Every day, emails flow in saying, MDY changed my life. MDY saved my life. And I certainly changed my life for the better. May this campaign bring thousands who say, do I change my life? Shkoyach Gadol, and thank you. Bar Burger, I don't know where you are exactly. Maybe I do. Oh, where? That's you? So you anonymous for the 12,000 shekel? Did you do that on purpose?
Not anymore.
There's no anonymous in MDY. I said that. He knows that. Wow, it's a beautiful donation. Bar Burger, could you come over here? Are you able to come? Get over here, Shkoyach. Wow. I have to learn his name. I know. I was going to say Shkoyach. Shkoyach in person. I hope not to forget your name. You drive at least 20 minutes from Nofai alone?
Yeah, a little more, yeah.
Beautiful. $4,000 donation. Beautiful.
Yeah,
on the last day.
The week was even bigger.
The what?
The week. Was
What week?
Last week.
Last week? Oh, wow. Really?
Without the bugs.
The wheat.
Oh, the wheat. The wheat that you gave me. That was a bigger donation than this? Why? Because you got it from your kids? It meant more. It's a shame I threw it out in the garbage. I put it away in the kitchen. It's nice and safe. Yishkoyach, thank you. The wheat. I thought you said the week. Okay, Baruch Hashem. I got it now. Thank you very much. Baruch Burger. How do you remember that name? BB. You just call it BB. Shalom Aleichem. It's that area I don't view that much. So what's your name? You're not new. I saw you. Also from Nafai alone? Wow, you should come every day. Nachum Stefansky, $100, dedicated to Reb Eli. Dedicated to Reb Eli, who unites Klal Yisroel, at least those with ADHD, through Torah. Yochanan Mebrach, in honor of Reb Eli and the hashpah he has in our family, extended family. Those two people actually, where is he? That's you? You donated $100? You took it out of your mother's wallet. Beautiful. Yishkoyach. Oh, that's your dad right behind. It's that whole area. Look at them. Givaldik. Okay, Rabbi Isai, we have a brand new parak to begin, so we got to get going here. The Masechta is sponsored by Anonymous for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages before Shleima Elimel ben Tzipora, Lili Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe, Lili Nishma Zechariah bas Yosef, Parnas HaChodesh, Ahron Fraiman, and should be the zechus for rebellion to continue siyadta dishmaya and teach Torah to Klal Yisroel. Parnas HaChodesh. Yosef Ben Chaya S for all the zchusim that come from supporting limud HaTorah. Parnas HaChodesh, Binyomin Rosenfeld for hatzlacha business, and in all my endeavours. Parnas HaShavua, the last day. Everybody say it. We all love this person. I'm not going to say who it is exactly. L'refua shlema Mordechai ben Esther. Amen. Aaron Trowering, L'zech nishmas my father Yitzchak ben Avram Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh for the month, for the art, anonymous of the zechus for easy childbirth, his daughter, and a healthy baby. Rabbi Isai, we're holding all the way in the top. Huh? Oh, the Zoom camera. Nobody's waving because Leiby's already Magister. They're waving. Okay. How many people are on Zoom these days? 50. Very nice. I want to tell the Olam like this. Every year, for the past 25 years besides Corona, I've been in my Schwer's hotel in Chicago. So that means ever since I moved to Eretz Yisrael, we fly to America for Pesach. That was one of the deals I made with my wife to move to Eretz Yisrael, that I would go to Chicago for Pesach and Chicago for the summer. That being said, Pesach in itself is a very difficult time to do the daf, especially Erev Pesach, Chalamoid. There's a lot of excuses, a lot of family time and trips. So I want to forewarn the Olam. It's not going to be easy, but that's what the daf is about. And if chas v'shalom you fall behind, happens to some people, don't fall off the bandwagon. If you get annoyed at the fact that I'm giving shiurim from a hotel room, that's how it is. Sometimes it's not always from the Beis Medrash. Sometimes it's a little harder. Sometimes it's in a Beis Medrash in Chicago. Sometimes it's in a hotel room or hotel conference room. They're not easy shiurim for me because there's no audience and I'm talking to a camera and it's a darker lit room. But we keep on going. For some reason, I come back to Eretz Yisrael and there's like 3-4 people missing for good. We lose, like they just fall off completely. So I'm warning the Olam. Don't be one of those people. And if chas v'shalom you fall a little bit and you get annoyed a little bit and you find the better shear, just come back afterwards. Now, there's a lot of people that just fall, and the yisoid is you pick up and you just continue. We're going to be starting the very famous Perik Ezu HaNeshach, in the middle of Pesach, mamish in the middle of Pesach. It's going to be fun. It's going to be geshmak. It's more of a business Perik, and it's not that difficult. They say, I don't remember it. They say it's not that. I don't remember it being that hard. It has like a name. Oh, it's difficult. So don't fall. Rabbi, so let's do this. We're on Daf Mem Daled Amud Aleph all the way in the top. And we know that if I have a question for the Olam, Meiser Sheni, if you have a lot of fruit that you're supposed to bring up, 10% of your fruit you bring up to your slime to eat. But you don't want to bring up so much fruit. So you trade it in for silver coins. Don't worry, it will be coming. Trust me. And I'll tell you why later. We have to show it every time, even though Jonathan Stefansky is here and gives me a hard time. We show it every time because there are people, believe it or not, in this room that still don't know what it is. How do I know? Because when I tested the oilam just 2 weeks ago, people that were in the shir for years forgot what Trumas Meiser is. They forgot different things, so we show it over and over. It doesn't matter. With all the litzanas. But you switch the fruit into silver coins. My question to you is, could you take those silver coins and all of a sudden you realize you have a pail of silver coins, and now you want to trade it in, take the silver and transfer the kedusha from the silver into gold. Instead of bringing 500 pounds of silver, you'll bring 1 pound of gold. Mutter or asur? Huh? It is a machlokes. Why were you wrong? But thank you for trying. You weren't listening well. You weren't here last night? He was. Obviously, it's not the same kind of magid shir. I didn't give shir yesterday in Hebrew. So says the Gemara. We said right. There wasn't a chart. The Mishnah says that according to Beis Shammai, you can do shlichus yad in your mind. As long as you think, and Rashi says it means you say it, and there are those who explain that you don't really need to say it. Rashi means you could think it, but it's better if you say it like we understand what you meant by saying it. Could you be sholeach yad with a machshava? Says the Gemara, Menon Emili, where did Beis Shammai get this from? The Torah Rabbanon, I'll call devar pesha. Here's the pasuk. Right, maybe we should say it together. Im lo yimotzei haganav v'nikra balabayis elo Elohim. Im loy shalach yadai. There's no shlichus yad. We're talking about melechus re'eu. I'll call dvar pesha. I'll show. Okay. Beis Shammai yoimrim. What's dvar? Dvar means to speak. I'll call dvar. Even if you speak it out, you didn't do it, you didn't touch the guy's thing, you thought about it, that's enough to be over on shlichus yad. Im loy shalach yadai melechus re'eu. You don't have to be sholeach yad, you need to be al dvar. But what do you do about the fact that it says sholach yad that you have to touch it? It's a problem. As long as you think about it, you're chayav. No, you need to lift it, you need to steal it. You can't think about stealing somebody's bike, you have to steal the guy's bike. I don't know if you noticed, like I'm noticing here, I talk about stolen bikes because I have a lot of trauma from a child. I lived in Rockaway and my bike got stolen so many times and my mother found the guy and the guy beat her up. I have trauma from it. You can't ignore my pasuk. My pasuk says, I'll call dvar on anything, dvar from the mouth. That we're not talking about stealing, we're talking about a shomer stealing, that's a little different. If he thought about using the item that he's watching, I'll call dvar pesha. Just he said he's going to do it. He's chayiv. What about my pasuk? We're at a stalemate. I have a pasuk, you have a pasuk. What do we do? My pasuk says, yeah, they're very close to each other. One is pasuk zayin, one is pasuk ches. He didn't extend his hand. It says before in the pasuk that he used it. He touched it. I'll explain to you what it means. I would think, so here's another exception to the rule. Throughout Shas we know, ain't shliach l'dvar aveira. Over here it tells us that there is a shliach l'dvar aveira when it comes to shlichus yad. How do I know that if I told my slave, I told my agent, go ahead and be shliach yad. I'm watching this barrel of wine. I want you to go take a cup of wine. So if my agent takes a cup of wine from there, I become chayiv. Throughout the Torah, if I tell my agent, go steal that guy's bike, go steal his car, he's chayiv, not me. Why? Divrei Arav, Divrei Atalmud, Divrei Mishoimim. Everybody's a chayiv to listen to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You can't listen to me. But when it comes to shlichus yad, it's an exception to the rule. Rabbi, I remember this because I will be asking you this. What are the two places in the Torah that there's shliach l'dvar avera? Yesterday we had one milah, and today we have shlichus yad. The Satmar Rav said, and this is whoever was in the shir yesterday knows that to me it's an amazing thing. Like you hear these divrei Torah. Paroi held like the Ktsois. Moshe Rabbeinu held like the Nesivos. Memela Pari said they can't do chazaka gimel shanim through the yidden of on the rock. But Moshe Rabbeinu held like the Nesivos, according to the Akiva Simcha Ben Feiga, the Nesivos, because he held. Okay, says the Satmar Rav. You never heard these about the Torah? The Achroinim of the Achroinim. So Paroi Tained. Tzipora shouldn't have listened to me. I told her to kill the babies. What is it? Ain't shliach d'var aveira. But Klal Yisroel is a pikadim by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Pikadim there is a shliach d'var aveira. That's you should know. That's Binyomin Rosenfeld says. What Purim Torah? The Satmar Rav says this. Purim Torah. Hita zachav zomer Rav Eli shonel nishbara. During the Seder, don't be laughing. Like when the guy says Torah, that's what he meant. Okay, yeah. Hita zachavis. Say something more down to earth to the kids. The frogs, it's disgusting. This, I don't know, in the stomach, something. Hita is a chavis. It says that if you tip the barrel and you take a revius of wine from it, and then it breaks, then you only have to take. You're only responsible for one revius. But if you lift up the barrel, it's different than tipping, right? Because tipping, it's still on the ground. You didn't lift it. You just tipped it. If you lift it up, then it becomes yours. That's only because it broke afterwards. So you're not responsible for breakage. But if you took out a cup of wine, Mishalem is kula. I'll give you a great example. You'll completely understand this. If I open up a bottle of Coke and I take one cup of Coke out of it, what's going to happen to the rest of the bottle? It's going to go flat. That's what happens here with the wine. If you take one cup of wine out of this, that's it. My taima, gire didei hudahanula. Your arrow is what caused it to spoil. Why? Because right now it's not a full barrel. When it's full, it keeps its freshness. When there's air in it, that's it. Goes weiter. I was a caterer. This is my situation when I was a caterer. They said, no, we don't need your Bar Tanura white wine. We have our own. So it's a weird kind of thing. They pour the thing, and then the cow drinks from it. And at the chuppah, what happened was the father of the chassan decided he's going to save the wine from this chassan's bris. The same wine. And they brought it to the chasana. What? It's a common thing, he says. By me, it was a ma'aseh shkamatoyo. Yeah, you keep it, but there's a limit how long this stuff lasts for. Usually, it doesn't last for 22 years, especially when you open it. Okay. Somebody asked Reb Eliashiv. Why is it you, Rebbe, you remember everything? Reb Eliashiv had a tremendous memory. And why can't I remember? And he said, I wish I heard this years ago. He said, you know why? Because when you open up a barrel of wine, the Gemara in Amafkid says, you take out one cup, so it fills up with air, and it spoils the whole thing. If you learn the whole day, but you watch a little bit of YouTube at the end of the day, you stick in that little, it ruins everything. It explains a lot, for me at least. I don't remember anything from the... Okay. Can fill your head with zchusim. If you lifted up the barrel of wine, you took from it, it doesn't mean that you actually removed the cup of wine. You lifted it up because you wanted to take out a cup of wine. Even though you just lift it up to take the wine, that's it. You're a ganav on the whole barrel. That was one of the machlokes we spoke about yesterday and the day before. Do you need to remove some of the wine in order to be over? Amri loy, not a raya from here. That you don't need to remove. Why? Because it's as if you did remove. Why is it as if you did remove? You want all the wine in there, as we explained before. It's better for you. You don't want the wine to go bad. So it's as if you removed that one cup that you wanted to and you put it back in there. You did remove it. Halachically, it's as if you removed it. Why? Because you want the whole thing. So you become a shoyal on the whole thing. What if you lift up a wallet because you want to take out one bill, one coin out of it? Mao. Do you say it's the same thing as a barrel of wine where you want to take out one cup? Is it because wine watches wine? You need all of the wine so that the wine doesn't spoil. But one coin has nothing to do with the rest. You can take out one coin. Perhaps when you watch something that's very large, usually you don't lose a very large object. I will tell you that in my mishpacha, we do lose very large objects. My father came home. My father's shtickle Ilui. And he came home, he told my mom that the car was stolen. He went to yeshiva with the car, it was gone. Kitzer, they filed the report, the whole thing. Cops came to the house. Remember the whole thing? 4 or 5 days later, my mother she goes to the bank. She's walking to the bank, and the car is right in front of the bank. Turns out my father parked the car in front of the bank. He went to the bank, then walked to yeshiva, and forgot that he left it in front of the bank. So sometimes in our mishpacha, large items get lost. But in the Gemara is saying that a large wallet is easier to... My father once invited a ganze mishpacha for Shabbos. So we're sitting by the Suda, we're like, after Kiddush, all of a sudden knock on the door, and in walks the whole family. My mother's like, oh, Shalom Aleichem! She had no idea. Now, as is, she would only prepare, like exactly each person got on their plate a certain amount of food. It was very doichaktik. So that was the time that I asked if we could have more dessert. And why are you pinching me under the table? That kind of thing, yeah. So everybody had to give the get. It was a whole, yeah. That's what happens when you live with the Iluyim. Teiku. Gemara says, okay, I don't know if a whole wallet is different than a barrel of wine or not. Teiku. Hadran halacha mafkid. We're going to miss a mafkid. We're going to miss a limud, and now we're starting Hazov. Hazav, gold. The golden rule. Oh, get ready, Avi. The golden rule is whoever holds the gold rules. So if you koina perik Hazav, you rule. It's a business perik. So there's a ma'isa shekamat hoya. I didn't make this up myself. No, there's a guy wanted to buy matzahs Erev Pesach. Now, the Erev Pesach matzahs after chatzos is very, very expensive. If regular matzahs is expensive, so matzahs that are very rare, and there's very few of them, and Hasidim especially, and it's halacha in Shulchan Aruch, it's better to eat, to make your on the Lela Seder to eat. So people buy 2 matzahs that cost, I don't know, hundreds of dollars a pound. Matzahs mitzvah, whatever you want to call it. So a guy goes to the matzah bakery, and he asked the guy if he could buy these matzahs. Yeah, $200, $100 a matzah. Okay, he takes it, he lifts it up, he says, but I don't have money. Here's $50, I'm going to run home and get my money. By the time he gets back, the Gabe from the Rebbe already came in, he's looking for matzahs, and the owner of the bakery sees who he's dealing with. This is the Gabe from the Rebbe. He says, I need it for the Rebbe. For the Rebbe, $1,000 a matzah. It's no problem, $1,000 a matzah. He pays the price, takes the matzahs and leaves. The guy comes back with the money. He says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any matzah. I just gave it to the Rebbe." So he runs outside. He tells the guy, "But listen, I made a kinyan. I went like this." He says, "No, matzah mitzvah." So the guy calls up the Rebbe and he tells the Rebbe, "You should know that you're not yoytze with the matzahs on Leila Seder. Why? Because there is a halacha, Rabbi, and I'm saying this b'dafka. There's a halacha that the matzah has to be shalochem. It doesn't say shalochem really, but it has to be lochem, just like an esrei has to be lochem. It has to be yours. Matzah also has to be yours. So who's the halacha like? The guy made a kiddah. But he didn't pay the full price. He just lifted it. So, Rabbi, I'm going to show you a video here. Stam, this what? He gave him a little bit of down payment, but down payment is not. Let me ask you something. So Remendi, did you learn this daf yet? Let me ask you, only you. If I give money to somebody, does the thing become mine? Oh, you have to do a kinyan on it. So the money that he gave is nothing to us. Nothing. The only thing that counts here is Agbah. He did Agbah. Yeah. So the answer is that the guy that did Agbah, 100%, it's his. However, we have to ask another question, and this I saw in a sefer. I'm not even making this up, but you can think about this yourself. What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want? That's another question. What does Hashem want you to do? So it's very possible that He would want you to be mevater to the Rebbe, be moichelim. In terms of halacha, you're 100% right.
Why?
Because he's making a whole thing and he's fighting. As I saw it in the sefer. I saw him before in the sefer. You're right. They both should be mevater. You're right. But let's see, he's not. He's being stubborn. The Rebbe doesn't want to give it back now. The guy says, no. I'm saying in that case that he doesn't want. So you're right. But then what? I'm asking him, then what? He doesn't want it. Right now he doesn't want it.
You should show his chassidim and you have to be mevater.
You're right that he should, and he shouldn't have taken it, and the store owner shouldn't have sold it to him. And no. This doesn't happen, by the way, in Borough Park Matzah Bakery.
The Rebbe goes himself.
No, this is different. Well, no, because over there they don't sell to the highest bidder. All right. So the bottom line is that here's the video. Let me show you the video in case you didn't see it and you're new to the shir. Oy. I love Rabbi Jacobs. Here, Rabbi Jacobs, come here, Jacobs. Come quickly. Because I love the way you're looking here. This is amazing. Look at his face. He's not even looking at the goat. He's looking at this. You enjoyed it?
Yeah.
It was good? Okay. You learned something from it?
Yes.
What did you learn?
How to do a kinyan agba.
Yeah, but you knew that before.
Not exactly.
Not exactly. All right, beautiful. You're a big buck kid. This guy's an Eli. He's an Eli. You're talking about Elohim. He's an Eli. He knows his stuff. Okay. So you have to do a kinyan agba. Let's just show you. I need to show you a couple of things here first. It's very, very important. All we're talking about here is there's one thing that's money, and then the other thing is the merchandise. What's merchandise and what's money? The only way to make a kinyan is by hagbah, lifting up a goat, lifting up something, or meshicha, pulling it.
Or stand.
Huh? Okay. You've been here, you've been listening. He came special to say goodbye to me because he's not going to be here on Sundays. People are saying already, the zegen zechus, very good, yishkoyach. I'll be back sooner than you think. Ooh. Depends how many days you have to stay in Miami. It's a whole neither. No, I have tickets back. It's just a few days after Pesach Beis Hashem. A few days, a few weeks, whatever. So it's not... Okay, so here goes, Rabbi Isai. It's very interesting. Money does not acquire anything. Hagbah acquires. So if I lift up something, it becomes mine. So now let's take a look. You have gold and you have silver. They're both coins. Which one is the money and which one is the merchandise? That's the question here. That's what the Mishnah is talking about. One of them is merchandise, one of them is money. They both can't be money. I'm not buying money. I could do a chalipin, I could switch a car for an apple, but if I'm using money, so what the Mishnah is going to tell us really is that the gold is the merchandise and the silver is the money. In other words, if I lift the gold, then I acquired it. I just owe somebody money. I will have to pay him silver coins. But by me lifting, if I purchase a car from you, by me driving it away, or whatever the kinyan of, however I acquire a car, that's how it becomes mine. Not by me giving you a check, not by me paying you. I owe you money. I could be kind of the car. If I lift it up, if I'm strong, I go lift up the car. It becomes mine. Then the $10,000 I have to give you, that's a different story. I'll pay you tomorrow. I'll pay you in 2 years. I'll never pay you. But it became mine. Check this out. This is a little bit of a video. I don't know if he's wearing his yarmulke today. I'm not sure what's going on there. Okay. There's gold and the silver. By this guy lifting up the gold, he just acquired the gold and he became chayiv the silver. But if it was vice versa, if he lifted up the silver, if the seller lifted up the money, money doesn't acquire. So the other guy did not acquire the gold by the seller lifting up the silver. If I own a supermarket and I take your $100 from you, you did not acquire the grape juice and the matzahs. That's not how it works. The only way you acquire matzah is by lifting up the matzah. The money, I'll go home, get my money and bring it back to you. But I acquire matzah by lifting it up. So all the Mishnah is saying is, when I have gold and silver coins, the Mishnah understands that the gold is the merchandise, the gold is the matzah. Think about it. Gold, it's very valuable. The matzah is very valuable. The silver is just the coin. And therefore, Hazav koines hakesef. When I make a kinyan in the gold, I lifted up the gold like this guy. Let's see it again. When he lifts up the gold, that's it. The kinyan happened. The silver is on the table. You could take it. You don't take it. But that has nothing to do with the kinyan. I acquired the gold. Hazav koine. I acquired as hakesef. The money comes later. But what happened, the kinyan happened in the gold. HaKesef, Eina Koines Hazav. Let's see the next one. I don't know if it's as clear. I didn't understand it the first time I saw it. They put down. When the seller now I do understand. When the seller takes I don't know what happened over there. But when the seller takes the silver. Oh yeah, very good, very good. Now I understand. You're right, Mendy's right. Even the seller is the guy with the turban. So even though the seller lifted up the other guy's coins, right? The guy put down the silver coins here. Not this one, this one. The skinny guy puts down the silver coins. The seller picks up the silver coins. Nothing happened. He could even take the gold away. He takes it, puts it in his pocket. He could take it back. Why? Because just because the guy in the turban lifted up the silver, you don't make a kinyan with money. There's no kinyan with money. So HaKesef Eina Koines Hazav. Very good. Yishkoyach. You helped me out here. Not going into that. HaKesef Eina Koines Hazav. Today's minhag, not minhag. Hanechoishes Koines HaKesef. The copper is the merchandise, and therefore, if you lift up the merchandise, the other guy owes you the money. That kesef and but if you lift up the money, kesef doesn't mean money. Kesef means silver. But if you lift up the silver, which is money, it doesn't acquire the copper, which is considered today the merchandise. Mois harois koines yafos. Here, mois rois. A lira, old Israeli money, bad stuff. You can't do anything with it today. According to Taisvas, it's a little whatever. So the merchandise is the Moisei Rois. What?
What is it according to Taisvas?
It's rubbed out the tzura. Moisei Rois, koines yafos. Va'yafos einon koines es harois. The good money is money, so you don't acquire anything with money. You have to make a kinyan on it. Asimoin koines hametbeya. Asimon is something like this. If you want to see exactly how they make pennies in America, they take these reels. Asimon just means the blanks. It has no tzura on it whatsoever. It doesn't have a depiction. The what?
Used to call them slugs.
Slugs, meaning nothing to them. Not blanks.
Same thing with nothing printed on it.
Nothing printed on it. Asimain, that's with the hole in the middle. That's something else. They didn't have phones in those days, I don't think. Yeah, with the string. Yeah, all these shiva bachrim. Yeah. Okay, Asimain koina is Amud Beis, in a koina is Asimain. In this case, the Asimain, the blank, is the merchandise because it's not money. So when you acquire the blanks, that's you could do a kinyan on it, but on the money you can't do a kinyan on money. Metaltalin koin is Amud Beis. Metaltalin. Oh, so the metaltalin is considered the merchandise, right? Once you make a kinyan on the merchandise, on the matzah, the guy owes you money. Madbeya, but on money, any koin is metaltalin. You make a kinyan on money, nothing happens. Zaklal, what? Oh man. Yeah. Okay. It's a good thing you didn't do Nachman. He's not here today. Call him a tattling and coin in this second. Huh? I have to tell him to stop with these jokes. Zakla, call him a tattling and coin in is ze. Without what?
It's part of the merch.
Everybody has a different aura. Just ignore, okay? Getting it off. Oh, I forgot. This is very important. Metaltalin koina mabeya. It's getting worse. Then they're gonna say it's a cult. Metaltalin works, obviously. You can make that's a regular chalipin. Okay. Givaldik. If he did a kinyan on the fruit, but he didn't give him money, he did a kinyan on the matzah, he didn't give him the money, you cannot take it back. If he gave him money, but he didn't do a mashicha on the matzah, you can take it back. Oh, Avalamru. But they said, Mishapara, this is the famous Mishapara. All it's called is in Shas, Mishapara, 2 words. But over here, the Mishnah says it out. The one who took a revenge, Man Shidor HaMabel, Umidor HaFlaga, who also li para, Mimisha Enu Oimed B'diburoi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu took revenge on the Dor HaMabel and Dor HaFlaga. By the way, once you mentioned Dor HaFlaga, how come Dor HaFlaga wasn't wiped out? Dor HaMabel was? Achdus. So the one that took revenge of the Dor HaMabel, Dor HaFlaga is going to take revenge on a person who doesn't stick to his word. Why doesn't it say the one who took revenge of the Mitzrim or the one who took revenge of Haman? Why does it say Dor HaMabel, Dor HaFlaga? So there's 2 pshatim that I know of. The Chidush Yarim says that there's no Torah in the time of the Dor HaFlaga and Dor HaMabel. But you have to use common sense. When you treat your fellow, you have to use logic, common sense. And if you go against human behavior, the norm in human society, against logic, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So yes, according to the Torah, you only gave money. And I could grab it back from you. I could take it back. But you know what? That's not how society works. That's maybe what he's saying. That's not the minhag. Society works. You give the money, the deal's over. The Motzei Shabbos says that in Tainis Daf Yomi Amud Beis, it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised Avram Avinu is not going to be another Mabel. So he says, how do I know? He says, you're going to bring Karbanis, it'll make sure there's no Mabel. He says, and what about in a time that there's no Karbanis? So he says, oh, listen to this. So somebody came over and he said, oh, remember, because of you, I say Karbanis. In our days, there was no Karbanis, you could say Karbanis. So it says the Motzei Shabbos, the whole reason why we don't have a Mabel today is because we say things with our mouth. So Mela, our words have a lot of power. Our words have a lot of power. You have to treat it as such. If you take back your word, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will take revenge, Chas V'Shalom, like the Dor HaMabel. That's what it says, Dor HaMabel. Let's say the seller, he has the money, he received the money, so he could take it back. He could renege the deal, not the buyer. Whoever has the money in his hand, he's the one that wins. Says the Gemara, Masilei Rebbe Reb Shimon Berei. Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah, Rebbe Yehuda Hanasi, he was telling his son, Hazav koines hakesef. That's exactly what it says in our Mishnah. When it comes to gold and silver, gold is the merchandise, silver is the money. Omelei, listen to this funny lashon. Rebbe, he calls his own father Rebbe. Rebbe, shonisa lanu biyadusecha hakesef koines hazov. So there's a whole nidon here. The Ramah says, you see from here that you have to call your Rebbe, a Rebbe Muvik, you have to call him, even if he's your father, you have to call him Rebbe. And the Shach says that it's Dafka Rebbe who, from the time of Moshe Rabbeinu until Rebbe, you didn't have Torah Gdula b'makom echad. Rebbe was the wealthiest in the generation, also the greatest gadol. You didn't have this. So such a person that God's Klal Yisroel calls him Rebbe. That was his name. His nickname was Rebbe. His name wasn't Rebbe Yehuda. His name was Rebbe. So such a person you have to call Rebbe. It's not a raya that you have to call every single Rebbe a Rebbe. He calls his own father Rebbe. He tells his father, when you were younger, you said the exact reverse. The gold is the coin. The gold is the currency, not the silver. Later on, we'll see that Rebbe Shimon was not happy. And he never took it back. He didn't like the fact that his father changed opinions later on in life. And I'm just thinking to myself now out loud, my father, when he was younger, he told me that I can't open up cans. Cans of soda, he explained to me why on Shabbos. Yeah, Shabbos. Can't open cans of soda on Shabbos. He held that you're making a kli, a whole thing. So I don't open cans on Shabbos. Now my brother does. And my sons do. Like, why? Because Zaidi does. I'm like, well, he told me he can't. No, he took it back. Too bad. In my head, you can't. That's it. You can't. Abba, I'm sorry. You change your sheetas later on in life. That's your thing. I shouldn't say this, but edit, please, edit. Seriously. Who knows? He doesn't watch. He's going to know in 10 seconds that I said that. There's other things he does. Anyways, I hear what Reb Shimon is saying. Listen, you told us when you were younger. That's it. I'm going with this. I don't know what happened later on. What was Rebbe thinking? Says the Gemara, listen, gold is much more expensive than silver. So therefore, the silver is considered the merchandise. And once you make a kinyan, slightly confusing the lashon, but the bottom line is when you acquire the fruit, the other guy is chayev the money. The Papa Rebbe darshan in his yeshiva before the war, he said that. Oh wait, we got to move here.
Have a great day.
He said that learning Eon is gold, and learning Bekios is silver. It's more common. It's more for the. And he said when Rebbe was older, he thought that Eon was more important. Later on, when he got older, he realized that for the Hamoyna, I was just sticking in another Rebbe. I think the Tzanzer explained it that yes, it might be more expensive, more chashav. It's the better way to do it. But at the end of the day, for the Hamoynam, when you have a general population and it's hard for them to do Eon, so the better thing would be silver. Anyway, upon him, it says like this. But the Knusei Sover later on in life, and that's what he wrote the Mishnah, Kaspa the Charif, Havitiva. The silver coins are very popular. They're oivil l'soicher. That's how you do business. The Havid the Charif, have a payroll. Think about it. Try to buy a pack of potato chips with a $100 bill. Forget about a $100 bill. How about a $2,500 bill? Because, $100 is $2,500. 100 gold, according to the Gemara, is 25 times the amount of silver. So $100 is 25. So go try to pass around the $2,500 bill. Nobody's going to get it. It's not something that really works unless you're buying big stuff. Real quickly, it's only Azav, so it's going to go quickly, this Amud. In honor of Kidnovations, honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman, zchus for Akiva Simcha Ben Feiga, official mitzvah motivates in honor of the limud for sponsoring Svara for the daily Ner Talmud learning, and by the Gersman brothers, the Yosef our grandfathers, Chaver Moshe Ben Shalom, and Rav Eliezer Moshe Ben Shema Zatzal. I'm going to struggle with this name the entire month. Omer Avashi Ki Aldusim Mistabra. It makes much more sense that the silver is the merchandise, the gold is the currency. It says in our Mishnah that the copper is the merchandise. If If you're telling me that silver is the merchandise, now it makes more sense that copper is the merchandise. That even though when it comes to compared to silver, gold, silver is considered the merchandise compared to gold. But compared to copper, that's what the Mishnah is telling us. You should know silver is considered currency. That the copper is the fruit and the silver is the fruit compared to the gold. But if you're telling me that silver is considered currency, now when it comes to gold and silver, you're telling me that silver is the currency, and even though gold is much more important, so when it comes between silver and silver is more expensive than copper, and it's more popular in the stores, certainly, why does the Mishnah even have to tell us that silver is considered currency compared to copper? Itzrich, I do need it. There's certain places that they use this copper. It's more popular in certain places. Pennies that are copper are more popular than other currencies in certain places. Maybe it should be considered currency. No. Around the world, universally, silver is currency compared to copper. You should know that Reb Chia also held, not like in the Mishnah. Our Mishnah tells us that gold is fruit, it's merchandise. No, Reb Chia held gold is currency. The Rav, Oiziv Dinorim Ibrati de Reb Chia. So we all know, I couldn't find a good chart, it was very, very late in the day. But Reb Chia, Rav was Reb Chia's nephew. Okay, the famous story that Reb Chia's father and mother they shared the same, or the opposite. Rav's father and mother were Reb Chia's brother and sister. Okay, so as you see in this chart, so Rav borrowed money from his cousin, a girl. The Rav Oizev Dinari mibrate de Reb Chia. It wasn't Stam, the daughter of Reb Chia, it was his cousin. So he borrowed gold from his cousin and it went up in price. Also, coming to Reb Chia, so he went to Reb Chia. What should I do? How do I pay this back? It went up in price. Is it ribis? Talking about my father, there are a lot of things in our house, and my father used to use language from the Gemara. So this is one of them. I paid him tavanut kilin. I didn't know what he was talking about. Tavanut kilin. Yeah. Merav Senigra, you tell me. It's Merav Senigra. So, okay, Merav Senigra. You get used to it. Like it becomes part of I don't know what it means, but yeah, it's Merav Senigra. It means it doesn't make sense or something. I don't know. I paid him tavanut kilin for your tefillin. I paid the bet. Okay, good. It means tavin, tav means good. Utkilin, it weighed a lot. In other words, pay him the rate. Don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about ribis. Now, if you're telling me that gold is currency, okay, so I borrowed $100, you give back $100. I don't care if it goes up in price, down in price. The only thing that went down in price is the silver compared to the gold, but I'm giving you currency. Eli Amr's Peravi, but if you're telling me that gold is merchandise, Havali Saba Asur. So we remember, right? Saba means that you're not permitted to do as follows. If you borrow a bowl of wheat, and it cost back, when you borrowed it was $20, it's not permitted to give back a bowl of wheat. You can't give a saw. You can't borrow a saw and then pay back a saw. Why? Because it could go up in price, it could go down in price. It's ribis if it goes up in price. Barley, wheat, there's a market. Right now, today, it's on the stock exchange. How much is barley? How much is wheat? If you bought it at 20, and then you return it when it's worth 30, so you returned ribis. Sabasa is also. So how in the world could he take from his cousin a bar of gold and then return a bar of gold? That's sabasa. Gold is also on the stock market. The only way you could say that's mutter is if gold is currency. What? Oh, because you went to the Smichas Chaver this month. So there is an exception to the rule. If when you borrow the wheat, you have your own wheat. You borrowed it, but it's locked up in a closet. I don't have the key. I'm waiting for the key to come. So I'm permitted to borrow based on that wheat that I have in my closet. Now, how much could you borrow? The exact amount that you have in the closet? Unlimited. Unlimited. Why? Because I could go to 1,000 different people and borrow one. Let's say I have one bag of wheat in my closet. I could borrow from 1,000 different people 1,000 bags of wheat based on that one bag of wheat. So maybe I could borrow unlimited. So there is no concept of saw b'saw if I have. So Rav, who borrowed gold from his cousin, he had a little bit of gold at home. How much? Not the whole amount, a small amount. So if he had a small amount, there's no problem of saw b'saw. We're going to see a lot more of that in Ezu Neshel Beis Hashem. Fine. Rav Dinari Avelu, he had it. What else did you say, Reb Jonathan? Yeshlo, we just said. Fixed price, that's okay. Right. But it went up in price. Over here, it went up in price. It's not small change.
And what's it? That or it's
Smichas chaver, boys. Smichas chaver.
I already took the test. Oh, and if you convert it to the dollar, if you convert to the current currency, so it's worth $20, you convert the item to the amount. I'm going to pay you back the cash.
Oh, at the time of the halva, you convert it. Okay, Givaldik. I'm going to need your help during Ezu Neshel, but I'm going to be in America. Rav, Dinor Avelu, he had gold. It's as if he says, I'm just waiting for my son to open up the safe. I need the key. This Tana holds that gold is currency. It's not the merchandise like the Mishnah says. The Sanya, you remember the first Mishnah Kiddushin, there's 4,800, Taisa says there's 4,800 prutas in one dinner of Zav. Bekitzer, one pruta that you're being Mekadosh a woman with is one of 8 of the Isser Italki. Isser Italki is made out of silver. L'mayin afkamina, what do I care? L'kedusha isha, to know if the pruta it has the value, did it lose value? It's not a pruta, then I can't be Mekadosh a woman with it. Isser, echel me'esrim v'arba b'dino shekesef, one Isser, the silver, was 1 out of 24 of a silver coin. L'mayin afkamina, l'mekachu memkar. Just to know whether or not you took a 1/6 more than you were supposed to, and then the whole sale is canceled. Dinner shel kesef, 1 dinner of silver. Echad me'esrim v'chamisha b'dinner shel zav. So over here the Gemara says that gold has a value 25 times the value of silver. Okay? Gold is more valuable, 25 times more than silver. So I looked it up yesterday. Gold today is 83 times the value. What? I looked it up yesterday, I said. It just went up. You saw? I'm serious. I looked it up yesterday. 83, it said 83 times the value of silver. As Tosfos, you got to see this Tosfos. As Tosfos, echad min chaf hey bedin zav kashel urban tam. Eich hayel bi yemeim she zav yakol kach. How's it possible that gold is 25 times silver? Nowadays, zakuk zav shavak al cholay. In our days, gold is only 12 times. How's it possible that in the time of the Torah it was 25 times? The answer is, look at our days, it's 83 times. And Tosfos goes into a whole pshat that it really isn't 25 times. It's just, they call it something else and it's really 12 times. Okay, we got to go weiter. There's people waiting here. Okay, so I need to know how much shkalim in silver to give for the pinyan ben. If I give a thing, I have to give change or not. If you're telling me that gold is currency and everything else fluctuates based on that, but the currency stays the way it is, it's fixed, great. Eli, I'm if you tell me like the Mishnah, that gold is actually merchandise, you're going to tell me that you do a pinyan ben based on something that fluctuates in price? Something that he has to add to the coin, something the coin has to give him change. It doesn't make any sense. You see from here that gold, we view it as currency, not as merchandise, not like our Mishnah. Not awesome. Like Rebbe when he was a youngster. Not awesome. Unfortunately, I don't know. We have to keep on going. This is Meiser Sheni. In case you don't know what Meiser Sheni is, in years 1, 2, 4, 5, you have to take 10% of whatever you have left over from your produce, after you give it to Trumas and Maasros, you have to bring it to Yerushalayim. Now, the fruit is too heavy, so you take money out of your pocket, and you see it has that color, you transfer the purple Gdusha from the fruit into the money, and the fruit becomes chulin, you could eat the fruit. The question is, could you take that money, that silver, and transfer that? It's too heavy for you, it's getting heavier and heavier. You transfer that Gdusha into gold. Lo yasa adam slaim dirizav. Do not transfer silver into gold. Ubesil matir. Beisham say you can't. Beisil say you could. Beisil matir. Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. So we have a machlokes Rabbi Yochanan. Chadom machlokes b'slaim al dinar. Could you transfer from the silver to the gold? The Bisham is every kaspa tiva udahava pera. Because the Bisham hold that silver is the currency. Think about it, Rabbi San. Quick question. Could I take silver, the silver that I have here in my hand, and transfer into fruit? I feel like schlepping apples up to Yerushalayim, not silver. Could I do that? No. The Torah says it goes one way. Fruit to money. That's it. If gold is fruit, then I have no right to transfer silver to fruit. The Torah says it goes from fruit to silver, not the opposite. So I cannot take silver and transfer it into fruit. Gold is fruit. So that's the whole sugya. What is gold? Is gold fruit or is gold currency? Rabbi Yochanan Rish Chadom machlokes b'slaim al dinarim. The Bisham is every kaspa tiva udahava pera. Gold is fruit. V'tiva pera loy mechalinin. It doesn't go that route. Ubesil savri kaspa pera. No, the opposite. The silver is the fruit. V'dahava tiva, and the gold is the currency. Upera tiva mechalinin. I could go from fruit to money to currency. So I could go from silver to gold. But fruit to gold, what if I don't feel like taking silver to the Beis HaMikdash? Of course I could take gold to the Beis HaMikdash. My timer, Beisil agreed that I could transfer fruit to silver, but Kesel Beisil Avagav the Kaspa. Silver is not Avagav the Kaspa, Ligabe Dahava Peiravi. Ligabe Dahava Peiravi. Silver is considered fruit. So how could I transfer fruit to fruit? How could I take my apples and transfer it to silver coins? You just told me silver is fruit, and I can't go from fruit to fruit. I can only go from fruit to money. The answer is because compared to fruit, silver is money. So too, compared to fruit, gold is money. You're right, gold is fruit. But gold is also money compared to other stuff. When you have silver and gold, gold is fruit. When we have fruit and gold, fruit is money. Gold is money. Gold is money. You guys are paying attention. So to gold. Compared to fruit, it's considered currency. What are we going to do? It's already, we never finished so late. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. A guten Erev Shabbos. A guten Shabbos. Motzei Shabbos at 9:30.